love all of our players. Freddie, nice guy.
Look, the crack of that bat. Nothing more beautiful than that.
Baseball is such an important part of our family.
That's the beautiful game of baseball right there. You win some, you truly lose some.
I just want somebody to talk Dodgers to me.
This computer. Well, it's official.
Got it.
We're recording. Should I just talk really loud?
Talk really, really loud. I'm sure Adam will love that, even though he is not here for this one.
I am so mad at him.
Help us. How dare he go on a vacation in this moment in time, but also how dare he go out of the country to Portugal during playoffs? What I get the Cubs aren't in it, but what is wrong with him? Doesn't he know he produces a baseball podcast show?
Did he choose this week because you guys were away?
No, I think it just worked. This was actually like more than a month ago. I think it worked out with his like brother's schedule.
Oh, so I thought it was because you guys went away and that's why he chose this week. But now that it was his choice.
Yeah, it was a choice.
My anger is raising. Let me grab my tea.
Oh, I love it. I know. I'm like, actually, I should probably be drinking water. I should.
I'm having some lemon ginger tea.
Love. Actually, I can. I like that. That's fun. That is fun. I'm going to grab a bottle of water really quickly.
Okay.
Don't worry about me. I'm like party up top and professional up top.
So, listeners, I don't know if we're going to use this part, but Allie is in a hotel. If you didn't notice from our reaction videos.
This is not my home. Nope.
You're in Oklahoma?
I am in OKC right now for shooting for a project, which actually that like phrasing is terrible if people don't know what I'm talking about. For filming, we are filming, but when you say shooting and you're like, depending on the context, you can get lost in translation. So yeah, we're in OKC and I'm here until Thursday. But guys, I come back just in time to start watching the World Series back on the normal schedule.
Because guess what? We are
we're going to the World Series. Oh, I'm so excited. But no, I have refused to not watch every game when I've been here, and thankfully my DP is also as obsessed as I am, so it works out very nicely. But
is he a Dodger fan?
He is. And so it's been very fun because we've just talked about sports the whole time, and the other two people that are like my writer and my supervising producer that are with us are like, what? They're just like, you're speaking another language. I'm like, that's fair. But I've refused to not watch the games. And since we have gotten up so early and been shooting so early in the morning, by the time the games start, we're technically done working, but that also means that I'm not going to bed to get like with enough time to sleep a proper 8 hours. So I haven't gotten 8 hours at all for the past like week.
Well, we'll just make this a quick one because
I love it, but I refuse to not watch the games. I'm like, no, I must. So I'm like laying in bed, and then last night I was texting you. I was like, I need to watch all the post-game moments.
I watched it multiple times, and there's just so much for us to talk about. But welcome back to Talk Dodgers to me.
Talk Dodgers episode.
It's a special episode.
Is this like a half episode?
Well, I didn't know we were doing a special episode. So Thursday's episode, I do say it's episode 30, but I might just have to cut that part out, and this is gonna have to be episode 30.
I was gonna say I don't want to miss episode 30.
So this is episode 30.
Episode 30. Guys, episode 30. And we're going to the World Series. Fourth
Series.
Yeah, baby. Look at them champs.
Woo, woo, woo. We're going to the World Series. Woohoo. Oh, yeah. The year we start a podcast. Woohoo.
What are the odds, by the way? Can we just talk about how crazy that is? The fact that we started this, and we've talked about it. You can go back to our original first episodes. You and I just being like, you know what, we would what if we win the World Series this year? Like having the whole conversation of what is a successful year with all the money that the Dodgers spent, and is it World Series or bust? And holy crap, we are going to the World Series.
But also, like, I grew up rooting for the Yankees. So this is a dream.
Yeah.
This is really a dream scenario for me. And you know I'm Dodgers all the way.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, if you jump ship on me right now,
oh my God, are you kidding me?
I will cut you. I would be actually very shocked if you did.
No, not a chance. But this is just, it's epic in so many ways. But
Yeah.
I just feel a lot of synchronicities with the Dodgers. I really do. So
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much until the season is over,
True.
but it's just pretty magical.
It's kind of feeling like it was written in the stars a little bit.
And everything
I mean, it's not
I've
going to
said
be
so
easy.
far has come
Look,
true.
it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be an incredible series to watch, I feel. And you want to hear what Nick said? And I was like, I feel like that's way too stressful. Please no.
What?
He was like, I want this to go get like 7 games, just because like people for baseball loving people to get to watch this series go 7 games, I could see that that would be very enjoyable for them. Not as enjoyable for you and I, or
No.
probably most other Dodger fans, or on the Yankees case, their fans. And Nick goes, I was thinking, how about it goes 7 games and every home game, or every team that is the home team, wins at the last bat, at the bottom of the ninth, meaning Dodgers would still win because we have 4 home games. But I'm like, don't you dare do that to me.
So is it
Actually, he
2,
wants a
3?
walk-off every single game. And then the Dodgers win it because we win game 7 with a walk-off. And I'm like, no, not for, I mean, yeah, I would be fine
That
because
sounds
we
really
win.
stressful.
My sanity, I would die in the process.
Yesterday, I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand. I was pacing, I was stretching, I was peeking behind my couch. Oh my gosh.
No, it's yeah. That, like, I felt like decently okay for a hot second when we were up 6-1, and then when they scored and it was 3-6, I was like, oh god. And then I was stressed again, and then we got to 7, which was nice, and then they got to 4, and I was like, oh no.
Well, I've been watching this whole podcast. In the beginning, I was watching a lot of sports shows because I wanted to know everything going on. And then I learned that for me on the podcast, I didn't want to hear everybody else's thoughts because I felt like I lost my own thoughts in all that noise. So I stopped listening to them. But this series, because of how stressful it was, and because, I tend to like rewatch the same shows because I know what's going to happen. And that's like an anxiety thing and a childhood trauma thing, but
we'll dive into that at a later episode in the off season.
at least I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know predictions. I wanted to know what, like, I've really been enjoying A-Rod, Jeter, Big Papi, like all their thoughts, even though they all were not rooting. Well, actually, after this series, I think they were not rooting, but predicting the Dodgers would win.
Yeah. But they all picked the Padres in that division series, I think.
But I was watching all those shows and really invested in everyone's thoughts.
Yeah. No, I was too. I think they do a great job, and I like all those guys together. And I will never get over how hilarious it is to me that Big Papi gives every single person who comes on there a My Dog shirt. I'm like, it's not that.
Wait, my sister's obsessed.
Give them all.
Like, she's obsessed with him.
She should make Big Papi a Papa's sweater.
She should. A Papi sweater.
A Papi sweater. Yeah, write that down.
That's genius. I can't wait to tell her.
One creative moment for the evening.
So you know how like she'll Google, are the Dodgers winning, just so she knows?
Yes. Yeah.
She took a screenshot of her screen and it was Big Papi, and she sent it to me just to let me know.
Oh my God.
Watch it.
I love it. She's like, I'm watching. See, Big Papi. Yeah, I just think the energy that this team has, I'm so excited for them to bring it in. I'm also so glad that our bullpen gets 4 days of rest before, like they need this rest. And dear God, they have earned it. I feel like if you could give the MVP to a group of people, just give it to the bullpen, because it's so impressive what they have accomplished and done so far. I think everyone going into the postseason expected that we would need, like, that our strength would have to be the offense, and they have come through. I mean, they hit how many was it? How many
46
runs?
runs this
42,
series.
46, 46 runs this series. That's absurd, and way more than I think any of us expected. I will take it, and it's been incredible to watch. But I think what's been even more impressive, like, you have to have the runs to win. You do. But you have to have pitching even more so in a way. And both the starters but the bullpen, I think they've exceeded expectations.
Well, it's crazy that this whole season, especially towards the end, we're plagued with pitching injuries. And I'm asking you, is there a pitcher that you're not nervous about? And like, that's the conversation about the Dodgers. And we're like seeing the same thing happen again. That's happened in years past. And now it's our bullpen that has taken us to this point, and just incredible to see. If you heard them all in the clubhouse doing the champagne showers, they're dogs. Our bullpen is dogs. And did you hear Muncie's? Oh my gosh. Actually, right before we hopped on, I watched a video of Muncie talking to David Vassegh and Brent Honeywell, which was hilarious. And they definitely had a couple beers. But Muncie said that they approached the 5 days off very differently this year than they ever have. They went to the front office and said, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to worry and get nervous about what these 5 days are going to do for us. We earned the first seed. We're the best team with the best record. We're going to treat this like a reward because we earned 5 days off. So in years past, they would come to the field 2 to 3 hours, practice, and, do that kind of thing. This year, they spent 8 hours a day together. They got catered food. They got a ping pong table. They played pinball. They played games. They watched baseball. They just hung out and had fun. And like he just said, they were just hanging with the boys, having fun, talking baseball. Like, just imagine all of them playing games, chatting, like, this is what we're going to do against this pitcher. And just like very conversational.
They just bonded.
Exactly.
They bonded even more than they previously already were. And I've heard Muncie, I think it was Muncie who was talking about that, of how they're such a tight-knit group this year, of everything they have gone through, from both the on the field stuff and the injuries, but to the personal stuff off the field. You think of Freddie and everything that happened with Max, and yeah, so that resonates so much.
Nice. And he said that they were thinking like, okay, what did we do in 2020 when we won? And that was the COVID year where they're all stuck in a hotel together. And he said,
oh my God, so
the
true.
difference in that year was how close the team was and how close they got. So they almost like mimicked that year, and just that's what we're seeing. And that's what we've been talking about this whole time, how much this team is gelling and this brotherhood. And even like watching them celebrate yesterday, like you can tell they are so close. Also, what's with the clown masks?
Having so much fun. I don't know, but both
you noticed
Banda and Vesia had them on.
Bratterall had it on. Was it one that they were passing around, or did they have
so at one point I saw when they were in the celebration, when they were celebrating in the locker room, both Banda and Vesia had them on at the same time. So there's there's at least two. Maybe
those freaked me out a little bit.
Those are creepy, and I don't really love clowns, so I could do without that. But I love how happy they were. I love how just, balls to the wall. Shohei, I've never, like, the dude is so happy. 7 years he's with the Angels. He comes to us for 1 year, and the dude's going to the World Series. Like, what the hell? You can't write that.
I know.
That's incredible. And I don't know if you saw Kike's interview with David Vassegh. That man is on another level.
When he said it was the PG version.
Yeah, he was like, I can't say what it is that I would say, but it's partly from, it's a little glimpse into what I said on live TV. Like, that's just us this year. And I'm
Wait,
like,
did you know
just
that
loved it.
they won at 8:24 p.m.?
No, because it was 10:24 for me.
So we're talking about all these little synchronicities.
Hello,
Oh,
Mr.
PK
Mom.
number 8, Mamba mentality. Vanessa and her daughter Natalia were at Dodger Stadium yesterday. It's the year 2024.
I'll take all the fun superstitions. I don't care because it means we're winning and I'm good with it. So,
Although I was doing a little, research on the Yankees, and I listened to an interview with their manager, and he was saying that their team is closer than ever. And I'm just like, well, not as close as our team.
nope.
And they had
Yeah,
a pretty epic Juan Soto home run
did.
to win it, and they're playing extremely well. So
That
how are you
3-run
feeling?
home run, I watched it happen and I was like, ooh, that was beautiful. And I mean, it does not, it's not lost on me that the Guardians had, one of the best bullpens coming into the postseason. And the Yankees got 6 home runs off of those guys in the
Yeah.
ALCS. So, I mean, we're going to have to come all guns a-blazing. We're going to have to,
Honestly, they're
on
pretty
our A
similar
game.
to our team, really similar.
It's two very similar teams, two juggernauts, two beastly lineups to have to go up against. Both, good pitching. It's not going to be an easy series, so I do see it going 7, even though I'd much rather it go 6 with us up a game so that, like, sanity wise I'm okay. But, I could see it going 7 just based on how evenly matched we are.
I know both
Uh,
teams can win in a bunch
But
of
I
different.
like to think we have more heart because Kike needs a parade, and he said it. He's like, I
We
want a
need a
parade.
parade. What are
We
you
need a
talking
parade.
about?
Well, he needs a parade. We need a parade. They need a parade. The whole Dodgers organization and the fan base, we need a parade.
We
Damn
need
it.
to get on that parade with them.
We need to do interviews of people on the parade.
Oh, wait, do you want to see what Liz sent?
Yeah.
Hold on. So basically how the bags work is that, like, once we get orders, I tell her and then she sends them. And so she wanted
Is
to
that a
send me,
fanny pack?
she wanted to show me what a different version could be. So she sent.
Oh my God. That's what I need. I need the fanny pack version.
Right. So it could be like a fanny pack, or like, I think I would do a
Like
crossbody.
crossbody.
I like
Crossbody.
wearing
Well,
it like
that's
this and having like your hands free to cheer and jump and stuff.
So that's what my crossbody, my fanny pack I treat as a crossbody.
So cute.
I love this.
So
I want one.
guys, if you want to tell, where did that come from? Did you do that? What is happening right now?
I have Zoom effects and I have no idea how to turn them off.
Wait, they're just going automatically?
No, it's when it's like it's when I do hand gestures.
Oh, that's pretty crazy. But
Just
these
so,
are really cool.
we're going to the World Series.
And I would love to know just from our listeners.
We're going to the World Series.
Okay, all right.
I'm done now. Oh, it's fun.
I'd like to know from our listeners what styles you'd like. Do you like the fanny packs?
The shoulder
I
bags.
can't wait to
or the
see
fanny pack?
people bring the bags to the game, because the first round of bags won out. And so they should have them in time if they're going to the World Series. Allie, I just don't know if I can afford to spend $1,500.
No. I was gonna say I can't swing that financially. So I don't know. What?
Well, we'll just put it out there that maybe it won't happen.
If somebody out there just happens to have 2 extra tickets and wants to take us to the game, call us. We're available any day. We will make ourselves available.
I'll give you a bag.
We'll give you a bag for free. Yeah, because they cost the same, so might as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the series a little bit. Where do we even
I
begin?
mean,
So we
well,
left off and we were at what game?
we left off. Well, we went to remember we went to game 1 and then we lost game 2.
We
It
lost
feels
game
like
2.
it feels like it's been ages, right? Like
I
it feels
know.
like
That's
it's been
why,
like
guys, we have heard you. And
it's been a full year.
next season, we will rethink our strategy for the postseason, because during the year, I do like that our podcast is different from all the other sports
Yeah.
shows, and that and I
100.
don't feel that bad being a week behind. But
Yeah.
in the postseason,
We
we're
need to
completely
be
irrelevant.
Yeah, we need to be immediate. And I think maybe the postseason becomes, and granted, viewers tell us what you like here. I think maybe it's you and I, it's like
The lives.
we're doing lives,
I think
you
we need
know,
to, okay. I
lives are like
feel
right
that
after the
I
game.
can do Instagram really well, and I've got it down, and I know what people like, and I know what
No,
works,
she
and
good.
I've got
She
that
good at
down.
that Instagram.
But I haven't mastered YouTube, and we are gaining more
Okay.
viewers, and people are finding us on YouTube.
Yeah.
So also, if anyone's out there that can teach me, because
We
I
will
thought today
happily learn YouTube.
we could have done a live, but
Oh yeah, I guess we could have done that instead of this, but
anyway,
whatever. We're here anyway.
I don't know if they want to hear us talk about this kind of stuff, but we're just very open.
Yeah, we're
We
here
want to hear
for
from them so they could tell us what they want, because that's really the point of this. We're doing this for you guys. We're adding an extra episode so you can hear our thoughts.
We're doing it for you, but we're also doing a little bit for us.
Yeah, because we just want to talk about the Dodgers. Duh.
Why not? Exactly.
You know who I met today?
Who?
Ferguson Jenkins and why do I forget his name? He was a Dodger. This is
I was like Ferguson, like Caleb, but he's
no Ferguson Jenkins. He's like a Canadian. He's a former baseball player. He was in the documentary. Oh, actually, guys, Thursday, my episode with Jean Fruth came out, and this is the book that goes along with the documentary, See Her, Be Her. And honestly, Allie, I can't wait for you to see it. It was so inspiring. It follows 7 women playing baseball at the highest level in all different countries. And they were there. There was Q&A afterwards. And it's going to air between games 2 and 3 of the World Series on the MLB Network, which is amazing for all the baseball world to be able to watch it. And then it'll be on streaming platforms, which they're working out now. So we'll keep everyone updated. But I just can't wait for everyone to see it. And please reach out when you watch it, because I'd love to hear your thoughts and just talk to you about it. I left so incredibly inspired. I cried multiple times. And yeah, I can't wait to share that interview as well, because Jean directed it and was an executive producer on it, as well as Billie Jean King, part owner of the Dodgers.
Hey, I love that.
And I met Maybelle Blair, who is a legend. Really great day today.
I love that. I can't wait to see it. I'm very excited, and everybody who has MLB, you should watch it between games 2 and 3.
Yes, exactly. And I'm trying
to watch it. And when it comes out on streaming, whatever that may be. But yeah, getting back to where we left off though, we won game 1, which we were at. It was wonderful. We lost game 2. Because that was when Flaherty not Flaherty.
That was the bullpen game gone wrong.
Bullpen game that went wrong. Yes, yeah. I was about to say. I'm like, wow, it really has been a million years. And then obviously we won game 3 and 4 in New York, which was beautiful. And then obviously we lost game 5, brought it back. But in a way, I'm kind of glad. I'm glad that we went to game 6 and won it at home. That is the first pennant we've been able to win.
I know. And that was really special.
And I think that was great for the guys. It was nice, I think, to be able to be back in our own home turf to watch that happen. But what's crazy about this series is not on the Dodger side, because I feel like we had offense every game. But for the Mets, it was it was like goose egg or like everything. It was all or nothing. Yeah. And that was kind of, I thought, very interesting. And actually, you know what we changed the odds on last night? Whoever scored first won every game from 1 to 5. And then last night they scored first, and I was like, no. That's why I was so like slightly distraught about because it was I don't know if it actually was counted as an error, but they shouldn't have even gotten that first run had that throw from Taylor to Muncy been caught. It would have been an out. There was already 2 outs that like Lindor would not have scored the first run there, but they did. And I was like, no, does that mean like, I don't want them to win. I don't want to have to go to a game 7, but then we scored also in the first, and then we capped, and I was like, we broke it. It's fine. We won.
It was pretty crazy that, games 3 and 4, we just completely shut them out. I think one of the games they scored 2, but we were playing incredibly well. And then game 5, it was like they gave us a taste of our own medicine. I will say I was happy that my family, who went to all the games.
They went to all 3?
Okay, some of them, but the majority of them went to Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
So the second 2. And I'm glad that they got one really fun game to be at.
Yeah.
And that they got to enjoy it. Although I was embarrassed for our team, I really was. And I didn't, as much as I think.
Why were you embarrassed for our team?
Because it seemed like they just were giving up. It was like Flaherty was not feeling well. He wasn't sharp. His velocity was down. And it was like, Dave was like, all right, we got to save our bullpen guys for the next game, when we wouldn't have had to have a game 6 if maybe he would have tried a little harder. So I didn't.
Yes, but I don't know. I not that I disagree with you, but there is a lot of strategy that goes into winning these series. And if Dave does if he's like, I want to win this game at the expense of the others, I don't know if that's the right move. So in a way, I kind of was like, I too, I wanted to win game 5, but I got to a point where I was like, it's not looking great. Their bats, like, they are having a good night. Their bats are on. We would still be up 3-2 if they win this game, which is still an advantage for us going into the next game. Like, it's not an elimination game for us.
Yeah, but
like,
you can't play like that in the postseason. Like you but
you kind of do.
We have games,
you have to think strategically about it. So
but
like,
it worked out. His plan worked out. But if it didn't, we would be talking about that game and how he just kind of gave in to it. But it did work. It did work in his favor because the bullpen pitchers were great.
But say if it's the opposite, say he puts everything into game 5 and throws our best at it after Flaherty, and it still doesn't work, and then we go into a game 6 with who the fuck's gonna start? Do you lose that game? And then like, we're in a bad situation going into game 7.
I completely get it. From all sides.
I wouldn't want that. So like, I actually think I respected the decision that like, it's not an easy one. Thankfully, we're not the ones having to make it. But I respect the decision that not that he was like, hey, I want to lose, but like, our bats were like sort of there, but not to the extent that the Mets were that night. And our pitching, it was like, you know what? Let's do the best we can. Let's see if we can win it with this, but without hindering what it looks like if we need a 2 more games or 1 more game or 2 more games. So I think he has to do a bit more foresight than we want, because we want to win it then, and we want to win it in that moment and with the least amount of games. But I was
worried. I was worried about our bullpen and our arms and keeping them. And I understand it, but when the Mets are up that much and they're having this game where they're completely shutting us out and scoring, and it was like, what, 10-3? I mean, we did have a bit of a rally, so we didn't lose embarrassingly, but that
was a lot of men on base.
Could have created the momentum for them to come back to LA. And if they won that game 6, we would be questioning his decisions in game 5. So I'm
You're right.
thrilled. I am so
would
happy
be.
that it all worked out. But
I feel like I
just
trusted
like,
our guys though. Like you said, there's something about this team that even with coming back, I liked that there's a day off. So in a weird way, that kind of
I know it killed the
momentum.
momentum.
It kills the momentum. So
Play
I
the
was
day
less
off.
stressed about that. And because our guys are they have this gel that we've talked about that is just, it's different this year. They have this fire to say, we're changing the narrative of what has been said. And frankly, we don't give a F, as Kike said. Like, they're not that they're pissed off, but they're kind of like, screw you guys. Like, we're going to do this. Like, we're going to do this for each other and for ourselves and, and for our fan base. And so I think I don't know. Not that I wasn't nervous. I'm always going to be a little like stressed basket case over here, but I went into game 6 and I was like, I don't know. I had a feeling of, as much as the bullpen didn't have a great game 2, that's kind of where I was like, they're going to have a bounce back. Like, they're going to have a good game 6.
I truly had no doubt.
As long as we score well. And that's why I liked that he saved the arms, because in game 5, I was like, I don't want him to throw. I like actually didn't want him to throw everything at it because it just felt like it was the Mets night, and that's fine. We just needed one.
I get it for us, but it's just like, you can't really play like that in the postseason. And especially our guys, when they tend to have really high scoring games and the next day they fall flat, like we can't do that in the World Series. You can't have a game where your offense is not hitting and stuff. I was really happy to see them bounce back. And
Those guys hit every single game. They didn't score, 10 runs every game, but even the 2 games we lost, I didn't mean to do that time. Damn it. Even the 2 games we lost, we didn't get shut out. And that to me that at least was encouraging. Because usually, and we've talked about it, after a 10-0 game or a 9-0 game, we typically turn around and lose and we don't score a single thing. But that didn't happen. Like,
after like the 5th inning, I think that's
scored.
when Mookie hit a homer and we were coming back and I was seeing the fight. And that is the difference, because in the past, I don't feel like they've had that. The family group chat, it was so intense, and they're such
just quiet.
And I'm such a big Dodger fan that we weren't really talking during the series. I wasn't boasting about the Dodgers winning. And they weren't doing that when the Mets were winning. But today my aunt texted me, and I kind of want to read it because she gave me all her thoughts about our team, because she's like, I don't really watch the Dodgers. So like watching them, she was actually
love to hear her thoughts.
So my Aunt Teresa,
yeah,
I call her Aunt TT since I was a little girl, and maybe I'm too old to call her that, but it's okay. She's
never too old.
She's Justin's mom, everybody, and my dad's youngest sister. Aww. She lives in New Jersey, big Mets fan, as you know, but she texted me today because it was silent in the group chat. No one said anything.
They were like,
my mom was chiming in because she's not really
Mm-hmm.
on either side. Like, yeah, she wants the Dodgers to win for me, but she's a Yankee fan. She's rooting for the Mets for them. So she's all over the place. But she sent me like all her thoughts. So she goes, "Hi, Melissa, congrats on your victory. I did not say much during the series. I love my team way too much. I wanted this so bad for me, for Mike, for Justin and Katie. We're such long suffering fans. The better team won. I never really watched the Dodgers, but I got to for these games. They are so solid. They never strike out, and they have very strong relief pitchers who your brilliant coach saved for when he really needed them. The Mets don't have that luxury." Okay, the bad part. I hate the attention Shohei gets. Yes, he's a great hitter, but put on a glove, play both sides, and not have half the game, and then you can be MVP. Big Papi was amazing, but never considered because he's a DH. You have to put on the glove. So I know that they're pulling hard for Lindor for that MVP. But he said, I just think the team is so strong, and no one talks about Muncy at third, Tommy Edman, Pages, those guys scared me every time they stepped up to the plate. Freddie Freeman scares me. They never strike out, ever. Those guys are the Dodgers. Freddie playing with his injury. Maybe it's just the stupid Fox announcers, but I really did not like all the attention on one guy. Anyway, just my 2 cents. Good luck in the World Series. I think you guys will take it for sure.
Oh, okay. I like your aunt.
Good
That
insights from someone that
was
doesn't really watch
very,
the Dodgers. And she's right. Muncy,
very insightful.
he like broke a streak for most
The
like
amount
getting
of
on base.
the amount of walks that we had, like that hurt the Mets deeply. We got on base so much and
Yep.
we made them pay for it.
We're really
time when we
patient
did.
at the plate. We're so
Oh, yeah.
patient at the plate. We often, and I know we have in years past as well, led the league in walks.
Mhm.
And we're known for being really patient at the plate. And
Yeah, we're
making
known for not
players
chasing,
pitch.
and Muncy
And I
really,
freaking love that about our team. And you know what that is? That is confidence. That's being at the plate and being able to have patience and be present is confidence in what you're doing.
And Muncy, you have to throw him a strike for him to swing. Like he can strike out, but he walks, he hits home runs or gets on base by a hit, and he strikes out. That's
And
what
he gets
does.
on base for the
That's
other
it.
guys. And I think sometimes it's just overlooked, but he really makes such an impact in our lineup. And I mean, Tommy Edman, he was so deserving of the MVP. And it's just crazy. Like we have all these MVPs, but we need the guys at the bottom of the lineup to be getting on base for them and to be producing, especially for when, Shohei's not hitting or whatever. But it really was everyone. It was another pass the baton to the next guy game. And that's just amazing. And I'm glad that she was able to see that. And Pages with his 2 homers.
I love what your aunt said, because it's true. Like we have such a pass the baton mentality, just get on base or get the next guy up there, like pass it to the next dude and let him do his thing. It's less about I need to be the one to make it happen. And the bottom of the lineup, those guys came through in so many games. And you're right, like they got on base for Shohei, and Shohei's RISP is like way better than when people aren't on base. And I love that. Yeah. It's the fact that he has guys in scoring positions, and then he gets to get up there, and it's not always a home run. Sometimes it's a double or it's a single. And I've said this, I love how it's not just like big ball. We play small ball. We play, for the most part, we're playing good defense. Like our pitching is on. And they're doing every little aspect of the game that you need to win. And I love that. The patience at the plate, just all of it is what makes this team, I feel like, so special this year.
No, and it's not even just what our team is doing on the field. And like everything you just said, they're playing small ball, they're getting home runs. We can win in so many different ways, but also everything is coming together. Like Dave Roberts, everyone's talking about it. This is his best managerial year. And to be able to manage this team and instill this confidence that all the guys have talked about is so important. And just what he does for the team, all the decisions he's made, but also our front office. Tommy Edman was a trade line deadline pickup.
Yeah. Tommy Edman and
so
Flaherty.
It's like what the front office does to put together a great team, what our team on the field is doing, how they welcomed someone like Tommy Edman with open arms, that he feels this comfortable and is performing so well.
He didn't even play the first one. He was coming off of an injury. He didn't play the first half of the season.
Who would have thought he would be the NLCS MVP?
Right? He comes in there, and I like how it's I mean, as much as I wouldn't be mad if Shohei, ended up with an MVP of the World Series, it's somehow weirdly even sweeter that it's not the guys you expect that end up being the heroes. It's the Tommy Edmans, it's the Kike Hernandez, it's the Muncy, it's freaking Kirk Gibson hobbled, to the plate, Freddie Freeman, who falls on Mookie because he can't hold himself up at that point. Like the man, can't walk, and yet he's such an important bat in that lineup that it's worth putting him in there. But also, what's kind of incredible is we won 3 games without Freddie.
I know, but it was hard, the first couple games, he really was performing and he was getting hits and he was getting on base and we were watching him struggle and we truly could see how hurt he was.
Game
But
5
then,
was
but
game
then
5
you
was
could tell that
painful
his
to
swing was
watch.
off and he was hurting our team more than helping. And so
Yeah.
I was glad that must have been a Dave Roberts decision to say, Freddie, you can't play, because I don't think Freddie,
I think it was.
he would
Well,
always be
between
like, no, I'm playing. No, I'm playing.
Well, and between him and Lux both like having some injuries, I think it's not an easy decision, but I think it was wise, because it's like, get those guys healthy so we can hopefully get to the World Series and have them for that. But
Yeah.
and it was nice to see, honestly, sweet Chris Taylor, who hasn't done
I
a whole
know.
lot lately. It was really
I
sweet to
know.
see him be able to come through last
He
night. Like,
really did.
he got
He
on
came
base
through.
twice.
Yeah, he got a couple hits. He made a couple good defensive plays, made
Yep.
not a good defensive play. And
He
when I
got
saw him at the
one
lineup,
not
I
good
was
one.
not happy. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's scary these days, but that felt really rewarding to see him come through.
And good for him to be able to contribute,
Actually, it was really 2 things that I thought were really funny, and one I want to read, but one was so I have a friend who has 3 daughters, and he put on his Instagram story today what his eldest daughter was like, "Daddy, can I stay up to watch the grown men pour beer on themselves?" And he was like, "Sure, baby." I loved it so much. I was like, there's a
Oh my
Dodger
God.
fan in
Wait,
the
that's
making.
amazing.
It was incredible. But the other thing I saw today that I did really love, and you know, I, this is actually, I think, for your Mets family and for your Mets fans. I don't know if you saw the John
Oh,
Mayer
I
like
did.
put out a whole thing
I did.
about how much the Mets and like Francisco Lindor has meant to him, and like
Yeah.
watching how they've played and how aspirational the Mets have been this season, like encouraged him when he was injured, and he was like, what would, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn to use
Yep.
these fingers instead of this one, because that's what Lindor would do. And it just like wanting to be great, and having something you love so much, is it like a baseball team, watching them be great makes you want to be better, and how like hopeful that is. And how, just because even though they didn't make it to the World Series, which is obviously the goal, it's like they should still look at this season as like an incredible,
Absolutely.
achievement of what they've accomplished, and what they've meant to the fan base. And I just loved that. I was like,
Yeah.
that to me that's the meaning behind baseball. Like, yeah, we all want to win, but only one team can. And even though we are going to the World Series, nothing is guaranteed. I hope we come out with a win, when we win, as Melissa would say. But, you know, the fact that we even get there, like, what an incredible accomplishment that is, because it's not easy. It is not easy. And I know I know there's a lot of history of Dodgers Yankees World Series, but not in our lifetime, really. And so I know way back in the day, that was more of the norm, but it's rare that you get the 2 number 1 teams
I know. It's rare
in the
that
world.
that they make it. I mean, think about last year, who
It
was in
is.
the World
It's
Series.
incredibly rare that the number 1 teams of both sides end up in the World Series, because that's what's beautiful about baseball is there. It's the most, I don't know if parity is the right word, but of all the sports out there, it is the one that has the most, underdog chance, opportunities. And that's what's fun and beautiful about this game is, getting there is incredibly hard, but that doesn't mean that you don't make an impact to the people that love watching you. And so it was fun to read what he said out there. And
No,
the
I'm
Mets
glad
should
you
be
brought that
incredibly
up.
proud. They were a great team, and honestly, they were fun. They were fun to play that series against. Very different experience than obviously we had in the divisional series, which just is like feels nasty and mean
I
and
know.
petty in a lot of ways. But with the Mets, I felt like there was genuine respect, and listening to the broadcast last night, and even previous nights, when they're when Ken Rosenthal is talking to Carlos and the Mets manager, and he's giving us credit in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I have so much respect for that. Like, incredible. He's an incredible manager, doing an incredible
He really
job,
is.
brought this team so far. And it made me really enjoy this series even more. And I'm like, you know what? I like the Mets. I don't want you to win because I want to win the games, but
Yeah.
I like that they made it that far. I like that we got to play them. And like, I can root for that team when they're not playing us, in a way. It's that sort of feels like
They really did have a
camaraderie.
bit of magic in them this season, and it was really fun to watch. And I think Carlos is an amazing manager, and he is such a big reason why they had the success. And they have great guys. I love Lindor. I love Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
crazy hearing the broadcasters say like this might be his last at bat, and I wonder what happens with him because he's such the heart of that team, and he had some great home runs and really pivotal situations that, it was nice to see for someone like him, who's a great player that everyone respects. And I loved that John Mayer post today. I had no idea he was a baseball fan, and like that's what we talk about. That's what we love about baseball, and I related to it so much. So it was just cool. It was cool to see. Like, I saw John Legend and his kids were at the game yesterday, and Tom Hanks was at the game, and
Tom Hanks' reaction to one of the home runs, it was like, it was great. I loved it.
But something you said about Lindor and the fingers or something reminded me of something I heard about Blake Trinan, who I just posted us talking about that.
I love Trinan. I haven't seen it yet. No.
Remember when we got really animated, so I'll be excited to read the comments for that one. When we talked about him flying back for his daughter being born and then shutting down game 5, and he did shut down. I mean, I had no doubt that
dude went
shut down the 8th and the 9th inning yesterday.
He striked out 4 guys in a row.
He like, when I lock in with them and I can tell you they're gonna hit a homer.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so locked in with him, and I just knew that it was done. It was over. Yeah. But I did learn something cool about him, that he, when he was like 2 years old, they said this on the broadcast, so maybe you heard it, but he was like bringing in one of his family members was bringing in a vase of flowers and dropped it, and he sliced his thumb open, and his thumb is a bit deformed. And he believes that that's his superpower. And that's why he has like a different way of throwing because of this like deformed finger. But like, and I just love that instead of, being embarrassed about it or this or that, like he thinks that that's his superpower. And that's what allows him to be an even better pitcher, because he has like this something a little bit different about him. And I thought that was really cool.
I love that. Yeah. Instead of seeing it as a disadvantage of something that happened to him, he's like, no, how can I turn and spin this and look at it in the positive, or how can I use this to my advantage and choose, like, I don't know, choose faith over fear, whatever you want to throw at it. That I didn't know that. That's actually really
and like that you can do that with anything, like anything that happens in your life or that happens to you. You choose how you want to deal with it. You choose the way you think about it. You choose how you talk to yourself about it. So you can want to hide or this or that, or you can rise above and believe that it makes you this unique version of you. Kike even just like envisioning himself having success, envisioning himself. And they even talked about it in the documentary I saw today. Like, visualize yourself hitting the ball really far. Then when you get up there, it doesn't seem as intimidating, and you believe that it can happen. And our mind does amazing things. We can train it to do that too.
It absolutely does.
But how are you feeling about the Yankees? And
yeah, let's finish it off with how we're feeling about moving forward and going into this series.
The last time we played the Yankees,
and I'm going to bed.
They didn't have Juan Soto, so that's the only difference.
They didn't.
And we have to
They
keep that in
didn't.
mind.
And
I feel like I know we're gonna win. We're gonna win. It's our year. It's our effing year.
it's
It's gonna be tough, and they're really good, and we're a great matchup.
But I agree with you. Like you know me, I don't like to get like too optimistic or too like, this is what's gonna, like, I don't know. I like to err on the side of caution. It's who I am. But I have a hard time not saying I agree with you because smells like a Dodger win, baby. But there's something that feels like magical about this year, about this team. It's not that we started the podcast this year, but maybe a little bit. But I don't know. There's something it feels different. And even the improbable, conversations at the beginning of the year, they're like, oh, they spent all this money. And like, if you don't win the World Series, like it was all for naught. And like, I disagree with that. We've had that conversation a handful of times earlier on. I don't agree that if we don't win the World Series, like everything was a loss. I don't. I think this year has been incredibly successful, and I think it has already been worth every decision that the front office made. I commend them for it. Thank you for doing so. As a fan, it has been so much fun to watch and to be a part of. And so yes, I am very happy, but do I want to win? Do I think this team can win? And through everything they've overcame and went through, it just feels like it is our year to win that. So we can shut people up about the 2021 too, of like, well, you haven't won a full one since 88. Yeah, go screw yourself. Okay. But I want it for them this year. And I feel
can't wait for the parade.
They want it. That's the other thing. It's not just that we want it. They want it. There is a deep burning desire to win this one. And I don't think it's going to be easy, but I don't know. I'm very hopeful going into this. So I think that's how I feel.
I think they're going into this saying we're going to win. So how are we going to win? And like, it's almost that approach. And even
it's gonna be a dogfight, but
it is, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great baseball. And I'm sure there's gonna be the haters like Adam who talks about the checkbook baseball and this like that, because
he says it's the evil empire of the East and the West. That's essentially gonna be what it says.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure a lot of people will be talking about that aren't fans of these teams, that are fans of the smaller market teams. But if you go back to my interview with Olana, who said every owner can spend money.
Yeah.
That's also something you choose to think, and you can look at the bigger picture and decide how you want to believe. But this is going to be great for baseball, great for baseball fans, and I can't wait to watch every second of it. I'm going to be pacing and not going to be able to sit or stand, and I'm supposed to go, well, I am going to my friend Natalie's little birthday weekend, and I just hope that they don't mind that I'm going to be watching the game the whole time.
I was going to say, we're going to be watching some games together, right? Like, this has to happen.
I know.
This has to happen. And also, have you heard of
Cosmo?
Cosm, not Cosmo.
Yeah, I want to go.
Nick was texting me. He was like, we need to go watch games here. So we should look into that.
Yeah. Okay. Friday, let's go somewhere.
Maybe I like it.
Yeah. I think they showed it and then maybe it sold out. I think you might have to get we'll look into it.
We'll look into it. But
all right, guys, the next time we talk, we will have won 2 games.
Ooh, yeah.
Because we'll probably record like on Monday?
Yeah, so we'll have Friday, Saturday,
off day Sunday.
Ooh, maybe we can't record on Monday. We'll have to record on Sunday.
Is Adam even back?
I don't know.
I'm so mad.
But we did fine without him.
I hope that you guys can hear me because I didn't have a microphone.
I hope my microphone worked.
We'll see. We'll see.
We like sort of miss you, Adam.
I'm too mad at him to miss him at the moment. I hope he's having a good time, but time to come back.
You better be eating some churros with chocolate dipping sauce.
Oh, he's in the jungle, remember?
Oh yeah.
In the forest.
In the forest.
In Prague.
I mean, that does sound very fun.
What's the
But,
time difference? I actually Googled what
I
time is
think
it in Prague because I
it
was
might be, I think, was it like 10
it's
hours?
8.
8? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. But thanks for listening, guys. If you stuck with us this whole time, we appreciate you.
We are in
We
the
hope you
World Series and we're gonna win. So go Dodgers.
Dodgers are in the World freaking Series.
2024 World Series champions.
Dodgers, Yankees, and I guarantee you, okay, that's a brand new one. I've never done that before. Oh, it's because I did that. Whoops.
We are
Wow,
the
guys, I'm
champions.
learning new things tonight. No, I guarantee you that MLB has never been happier
I know.
this is like their dream come true scenario because you're going to get the West Coast, the East Coast, people who just love baseball in the middle. You get all of freaking Asia, or at least all of Japan. And I just think they're on cloud 9 right now with
The
the
ratings are going to be
over
insane.
the ratings. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And I saw a very funny thing that Nick sent this little meme earlier to a group chat of ours that showed like who's rooting for who. And it was obviously California is rooting for the Dodgers. New York is rooting for the
Well,
Yankees.
actually, I don't know about that.
Boston was rooting for the Dodgers. Florida is rooting for the Yankees because of Stanton. And then everywhere else just wanted a meteor to strike. And I was like, shut up.
Because I would think that like Mets fans would root for the Dodgers. Giants fans and Padres fans are probably going to root for the Yankees.
Ooh, good point.
You know, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see that being the case. It was just really funny though that it was like, but minus like Boston and Florida, who chose obviously separate sides for different reasons. Everybody else just wanted a meteor to strike. And I was like, well, there you go.
Whatever. It's going to be great. And I can't wait.
Oh, I'm so excited. Guys,
Who do you think is going to be the
don't have to be
MVP?
done. Isn't this fun? We get to keep going. They keep winning, and that means the world keeps getting to listen to us talk about baseball.
I think Mookie's going to be the MVP.
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't be
He's been
mad.
heating up and just keep getting hotter. And I think he's going to be the MVP.
Ooh. I don't want to pick the same one as you, so I'll go, even though I love Miss Mookie.
I'm just happy for him. I'm so happy that he's playing so well.
And he just seems so
I
excited.
just love when
happy.
he smiles. I get so worried about him.
I know. I'm like,
What?
are you okay?
He's not playing
I
well,
know.
and he's hearing all the outside noise. So when he
Yeah.
was cheering on, oh, I did want to give a shout out to Will Smith because although he wasn't playing well offensively, he did get that homer, but also he is calling all these games. So for him,
He's killing it.
he's doing so much right now. He's killing it. And even Walker Bueller said, like, I trust Will Smith more than I trust myself in what he's seeing and not being predictable. So shout out Will Smith. You're awesome. We love you. I think he's got some good homers coming for us in the World Series. And I can't wait to see who's gonna be, who's gonna show up.
Show up.
Is it gonna
Okay.
be showtime?
Showtime, baby. Yeah, so you say Mookie. I feel like if you say Shohei, that's like everyone expects you to say Shohei. So
Imagine if
say
Shohei
that.
does become the World Series MVP after everything. That
Yeah.
would be pretty cool. That
That'd
would
be
truly
freaking
be a
insane.
movie.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Kike.
Oh,
I love it. I'm
Love
gonna be
it.
very okay with that. I'm gonna go with either Kike or I'll go Shohei. One of the two.
His daughter is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Penelope is adorable and the name is great. So
I know. The pictures of them celebrating yesterday.
He's like,
I couldn't get enough.
coming to her. I know. I'm like, give me more. Did you see Molly and
Yes, how they recreated the video?
They recreated the like pelvic bump.
Yep. That was so perfect. Shout out to all the Dodger wives.
Shout out.
They really do so much for their guys to perform so well. So shout out to them. You're awesome. I love watching them all celebrate together and just their bond also. So really cool. And go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers. Woo.
So you're back on Thursday?
I'm back on Thursday, y'all. Just in time for Friday.
All
And
right.
game 1.
So have a good rest of your trip and we'll figure out where we're watching the games.
Done.
All right.
Maybe
I'm
we'll
gonna
let the
stop
fans know.
recording now. What if I
Cool.
wasn't recording this whole time?